the local movement is a lot more than just a move towards healthy eating. It's a move towards sustainable living in your community.
Meet Yer Eats Farm Tour next on Meet the Farmer TV. This program is a production of Meet the Farmer TV, LLC, in association with Planet Earth Diversified, Melli Productions, and Leslie P. Jenkins Photography and Graphic Design. Meet the Farmer TV is made possible by Culpeper Media Network, helping to preserve the agricultural history of Virginia. And In the Kitchen magazine, serving the community and everyone who loves good food.
We're Market Central in Charlottesville, Virginia, and you're watching Meet the Farmer TV.
Every year in the fall, Market Central organizes a special Meet Yer Eats Farm Tour, where for one fee, you can go and see all the farms you want to on the tour that day. Let's go talk to Kathy Kilday and find out more about this exciting Meet Yer Eats Farm Tour 2010.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, we're here at the Charlottesville City Market, and we're talking about the second annual Meet Yer Eats Farm Tour that Market Central put on Labor Day. This year we had 18 farms participate in the tour, and there are 18 growers who are represented here at the City Market and participated in the tour. So the purpose of the tour is to get people out to see the farms where their foods are produced. Coming to the farmers market is one way that people can support local foods, but a lot of people have questions about how their foods are grown, how the animals are raised and kept, and this is a wonderful opportunity to go to visit the farms. It's also very advantageous to the farmers, who their job is 24/7. So to accommodate all the people that want to visit their farms is very difficult for them to incorporate into their schedule. By having the tour on one day where they can concentrate on greeting visitors and letting them know about what they do on their farms, it's very time aware for the farmers as well. Well, people are always asking questions about different farming practices, and sometimes shopping at a market where it's busy and there's confusion, it's not the best place for people to really get an awareness or an understanding of what's involved in raising a crop or raising an animal that's satisfactory to the consumer. So by welcoming guests to their farms and letting them see those things firsthand, that is a tremendous way to educate people both about how their foods are produced and where they can find them in their community. It's a very advantageous relationship. We have found in the past that customers may not have been real familiar with a particular grower when they see them at the market, but because they decided to visit them on the farm tour, they can come the following weekend to the market and go, "Oh, I saw that watermelon growing in the field," or "I've seen the chickens that produce those eggs." And they're really better connected in the process. We will be doing the tour again in 2011. This year we had 18 farms. We hope to open it to even more in 2011. You can visit our website at www.marketcentralonline.org. You can sign up for our newsletter online, where we will, as the tour gets closer, you will be getting updates about the tour and how to purchase tickets online and to download all the brochures and information about the tour on the internet. Getting people out to these farms is really instrumental in connecting them to what the local food movement is all about, and getting to understand what is different between a small sustainable farm and what some of the larger commercial growers are doing. And once you have that understanding, I think it's very easy for people to start connecting their own dots, if you will, about how their individual purchases relate to the bigger picture, not just in supporting farms and supporting the local economy, but preserving local farms, farmland. If you don't want to see developments going up into what used to be a beautiful farm, then you need to make it economically viable for those farms to stay in business. And everything that we can do to connect the consumer to those ideals and those ideas will further the cause. This year we looked for some additional corporate sponsorship to help raise the profile of the tour and to reach a broader audience. And two groups really rose to the occasion. Whole Foods was one of them, and the Ivy Group was another. The Ivy Group really helped with our publicity and marketing of the tour, and Whole Foods' generous subsidy allowed us to produce some printed materials that really helped us promote the tour. So we came up with the Meet Yer Eats Farm Tour. We had several posters made. We had flyers all over the market. We had a a lovely printed brochure available to customers so that they could read about the farms that they were going to see and to know how to take the tour. Well, one of the most enlightening things about the tour was how welcoming this community was. They were so eager to embrace this event, and it was very nice to be able to fulfill that. We meet and see customers at the market every single week who are faithful shoppers here, and this just allowed them one more opportunity to get a little closer connection to their foods. It was wonderful to hear some of the comments afterward about what people learned, because when you do this as close as I am to it, sometimes I forget that it's a totally new concept for people, and they come away from these farms with, wow, I didn't know they were doing that, or I didn't know there was so much work involved in it, or look at what a difference this makes. So those kinds of comments were really, really good to hear. One of the examples of somebody being really enlightened by this experience would be there was a large tour at Wolf Creek Farm in Madison County. John Whiteside led that tour, and he had 54 people show up at 8:30 in the morning to see his farm. And it's not just about meeting the cows, it's about understanding the relationship to the water system, the raising the grasses, and how all those things interplay to bring you more nutritious beef that's gentler on the environment and certainly kinder to the animal. And those sorts of things I think people lose perspective of, but when they see it and they're walking the land and they see what this farmer is doing, I think that really helps drive that message home. I had a conversation a while back with a friend of mine who has a dairy cow, and he's a teacher, and he every year brings fifth graders to his farm to talk about milk from a cow and how to make cheese. And he took a group of 13 children to his farm one day and came back just shaking his head saying, 8 of those kids had no idea that milk came from a cow. And I just don't understand how that happens. And it's very unfortunate. And we want to see it end. We want to see kids grow up with an understanding of where their food comes from and why their choices of what they choose to eat make such a difference. So there were 18 participants on the Meet Yer Eats farm tour this year, and they represented a very diverse group of growers in the Central Virginia area. We had Brightwood Farm that has a vineyard, they raise organic berries, and they produce wines. They have organic hens, organic eggs, lots of wonderful farm animals. That farm was a mecca for children, families with young children. And they really embraced the idea of children getting out and not just looking at them in a pen. They were feeding them, they were petting them, they were seeing them in their natural environment on the farm, which was just priceless. We had vintage Virginia apples that had hard cider tastings throughout the day and tours of their orchards. We had Planet Earth Diversified, Radical Roots Farm, Innisfree Village, Waterpenny Farm, Stony Mountain Nursery, Vintage Virginia Apples, Appalachia Star, Caramount Dairy, Everona Farm. Several of the growers on the farm tour conducted certain special programs during the day that were advertised ahead of time, and a lot of people chose to arrange their tour day based on those special programs that they wanted to attend. So there were certain farms that had a little more in-depth tour at different times of the day, and other times if you just wanted to go and visit, you could just be at your own pace. But if you really wanted to get a little more knowledge about a certain topic, you could go for one of their special programs. So after the tour, we were really interested in finding out what people liked about it and what we could improve about the tour, since we are planning, it is an annual event. So we want to be sure that we're giving people what they want. We opened up an online survey to our ticket holders and asked them to fill out a survey about what farms they visited, what parts they really liked about the tour, and some things that they wish we had done a little differently. One of the resounding messages that we heard on this survey, and we heard it over and over again, was we want more. We want to be able to visit more farms. We want it over maybe twice a season or over a 2-day period, but we want more. And we heard that over and over and over again. In addition to the online survey, we solicited comments from our market customers on Saturday mornings for the next couple of Saturdays after the tour. And we put up this board and just asked people, just tell us what you liked about it. And we put up a blank piece of paper that says, my favorite thing about the farm tour was, and let them have at it. And one of the telling comments, as I was just speaking of, we wish you would make it 2 days or make the hours longer. We couldn't get to all that we wanted to see. It was fabulous. What great farms we're blessed to have. And I know that this woman went to see 5 farms with her husband and family, and they wanted more. One of the other farms that was mentioned on here that was a real hit was Brightwood Farm. And they had so many animals and so many interactions and programs with guests. But they said Brightwood Farm was awesome. We saw donkeys, sheep, goats, chickens, and compost. Thanks for opening your farm to us and being so welcome. And I think that says it all. These people are so interested in local foods and interested in learning more, and the welcoming embrace that they got from the farmers was very well received. If you're interested in hearing some of the comments from our online survey, you can go to www.marketcentralonline.org, and we'll have a digest of those comments there. Well, Market Central is a nonprofit organization that promotes and supports the Charlottesville City Market, and our ultimate goal is to help find it a permanent home. And we bring these programs to the community, like the farm tour, to get people to understand what it would mean if we didn't have this market here. We want to really motivate the community to get behind the effort to establish a permanent home for this market so that these growers will always have a venue in Charlottesville to come and bring their products. And as people have seen by the distances that they were willing to travel to go to visit these farms, if we didn't have the market right here in town, they would lose access to these valuable local foods. We also are looking for input from the community about what makes this market special. What do you like about this market? What do you wish it had? We have a long list of things that we think could be improved, and we are trying very hard to work toward that. As a volunteer organization, we are always looking for input from the community to help promote our cause and our mission. Anyone in the community that would like to volunteer or to serve on our board, or even just shoot us an email now and then and tell us what you think about the market. If something made you really happy or something didn't make you very happy, we'd like to know it. We'd like to work together as a community organization for the betterment of this market. We frequently have projects that we need some manpower to work on, and their student sources here in town are a wonderful resource for us to draw upon. So if there are students out there that are interested in working in local foods or working on one of our projects, we'd love to hear from you, and we'd be happy to open a dialogue with them. Some of the 18 farms that participated on the Meet Yer Eats farm tour are here today at the City Market. Wolf Creek Farm, Radical Roots Farm, Planet Earth Diversified, and Brightwood Farm are all here today selling their products.
Now let's go and check out with Kathy some of the vendors and see how the Meet Yer Eats farm tour affected each of them.
So we're talking with Radical Roots Farm about their farm tour experiences from Meet Yer Eats. And we're talking with Kit, who was there on farm tour day, who wants to talk a little bit about how the tour experience enriched their customers here at the market.
Well, we've had a lot of customers who have come by the farm stand and told us that they really enjoyed seeing the farm, seeing where their food is grown, and that they now know things about the vegetables that they're eating that they didn't really realize before. So I think that a lot of people really enjoyed it and are more intrigued now about local food and supporting local farmers, which is really great.
Oh, I know that at Radical Roots you had a guided farm tour in the afternoon, and that was a really popular event, wasn't it?
That's correct. We had a lot of people. I think we had between 20 and 30 people show up for our guided farm tour, which was great because we were actually one of the farther tours from Charlottesville. So people made the trek. They came out. Dave, who's one of the owners, gave a really great farm tour where he talked about permaculture principles and how we're applying those on the farm every day.
I'm Susan Vidal from Brightwood Vineyard and Farm. We really enjoyed the farm tour. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of visitors and a lot of interest in the things we were up to at the farm, and had some robust wine tasting going on, and our market at the farm tour day was very successful. We sold about as much as we do in a regular, really good day here at the City Market, so it was fantastic. And I think there's been increased recognition of us from people just walking by who came to the farm tour and didn't realize who we were at the market. So that's been nice too. And it was a very positive experience.
Now, the Meet Yer Eats farm tour was a combination of local, regular customers, as well as people that traveled from a long distance just to see some local farms. So how does this relate to agrotourism?
We're kind of in the business of agrotourism because we also have a cottage that we rent out at the farm as a B&B, and we encourage people to come to our farm and visit us and interact with the animals and see what we're up to. So the farm tour was just another aspect of that, and we really enjoyed having all those visitors. It was great. We had a good time. We think that we're doing about the most important thing you could be doing right now, which is growing healthy, nutritious food, and the more people that know about that, the better. And I think the farm tour really helped to spread the word, so it was great. Good experience.
Having our customers able to come out to the farm and see how their beef was raised helped answer a lot of the questions they had for how such great tasting beef got to their table. In terms of new customers, it was an opportunity to introduce them to the way we farm and for them to leave the farm with some beef to try for dinner. So like most farmers, we're working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and our customers would love to see the farm. It's difficult for us to break from all of the chores we've got every day. So the Meet Yer Eats farm tour was a great opportunity to concentrate our customers on a single day and really show them all the aspects of the farm. It was good for them, good for us. I think it was a great opportunity for people here in Charlottesville to really find out in the local economy how buying local, buying from a sustainable farm helps both the farmer and the community, as well as giving the customer a very great product to bring home to their dinner. Well, the key thing about eating locally is not just getting great tasting and nutritious and healthy food, but it's also the act of supporting your local community, keeping the dollars local, helping drive a sustainable economy. So the Meet Yer Eats farm tour gave people here in Charlottesville an opportunity to see the farm and to understand exactly how their buying decision affects not only their table, but it also affects their local community. It affects the jobs in the local community. It affects the flow of dollars in the local community. And the local movement is a lot more than just a move towards healthy eating. It's a move towards sustainable living in your community.
Meet Yer Eats was very successful. We had 130 people. People who were very interested in where their food was coming from. And we had good organized tours. They saw the whole farm. And some participated in the farm store after the tour. But the most important thing is that people really were coming to Meet Yer Eats. And since so many people are removed from their food system or from their food sources, it's great. I give Kathy a lot of credit for starting this. One of the few ideas I ever agreed with her on. I was one of the first to support her too on this one. It's a good idea.
My name is Rick Reckadan, and I handle the sales and major events for Everona Dairy. A dairy located about 15 minutes from here, very local. We make an award-winning Manchego cheese that won a gold medal in the United States Cheese Championship in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and we make 23 varieties of that cheese. We've also produced a cheese this year that finished 10th in the World Cheese Championships this May. Some of the most popular products are actually the First of Piedmont, and we also make a very nice pecorino fresco, which is very popular with the chefs in Washington, D.C. We do 13 markets. Presently, we're doing DuPont Circle in Washington, D.C. on Sundays, Columbia Pike on Sundays. Tuesdays, we're at Crystal City. Wednesdays on Capitol Hill. Thursday, the White House Market, Penn Quarter. And this weekend, we're here in Charlottesville, Williamsburg, Silver Spring, Georgetown, Fredericksburg. And major events this week, we're doing the Montpelier Hunt Races. That's coming up in 2 weeks. We've been invited to attend that. Hopefully we'll do well. I think our cheese will match the steeplechase. Anyway, also we're doing the Metropolitan Cooking and Entertainment Show at the Washington, D.C. Convention Center. We'll be there Saturday and Sunday. Come see us there and try some award-winning cheese. A lot of people are really into the local thing, especially the chefs. These cheeses are made on our farm artisanally by hand, which makes it very special. The sheep is a closed herd sheep. We have 240. That means all our products come from our sheep. No outside milk. We use all our own milk. We get our flour For our crackers locally here from Yoder's farmers, the farm market there, Yoder's, and we try to use everything from the animal. So you can see when you taste cheeses this young and fresh from farm to table, you can really tell a difference.
Hi, I'm Kathy Philauer from the Orchid Station, and this is Meet the Farmer TV, and I am a farmer. Well, we're a family-oriented, family-run wholesale orchid nursery. We're in northern Albemarle County. Most of our product is sold in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, although we do sell locally here at the farmers market and a few outlets in Charlottesville. Farmers markets have been very good to us, and a willingness to take the plants outside and have them in the open has been very useful. There are some orchid growers who are fairly protective of their plants, but I've always been willing to take it outside. And that's good. Also, keeping our prices low. We've tried very hard to stay within the wholesale model, and farmers markets are a place where we can sell plants that are not quite perfect. For example, this one is missing a bud right there, but at a farmer's market it'll sell beautifully, and I can keep the prices really low, and everybody's happy. Climate control is a big one. It costs a lot of money to keep plastic houses warm all winter long, and we cool them. We have air conditioners running in one of the houses in the middle of the summertime, so Virginia summers are pretty hot, and we're trying to keep these orchids cool. So it costs a lot of money to keep the climate just right for the orchids. If we had a house that we lived in that was big enough to hold the thousands of orchids that we had, that'd be fine, because they do fine as a house plant. But greenhouses tend to get too hot for orchids, and of course they get too cold if you don't heat them. So that's our primary difficulty. One of the resources that the community and the state has to offer that we've used fairly frequently is the extension office. We've run across various growing problems or greenhouse problems that we've had solved by our extension office and Virginia Tech. We've sent away leaves to Virginia Tech, and they've been able to help diagnose what a problem is, having to do with some trace element that's missing in our medium, or something that we have to add to the copper or something to the water. So we've taken advantage of our extension office fairly frequently.
One of the things that we didn't mention earlier about the Meet Yer Eats farm tour was how many people participated. There were over 1,000 people that visited the 18 farms that we had on the tour. That means that 1,000 people in this community really care about where their food is coming from and want to go out and see where these farms are located and how they're growing their foods.
How did the Meet Yer Eats farm tour impact the farm? Wow, well, it was a really awesome, it was a wild day, but it was really cool. I think the neatest thing was having people come out and see the farm. We very rarely get the opportunity to have people come out and have people see, how are their vegetables and greens grown. It also, it was a really good day, and we got a lot of good questions. It seemed like it was very educational. A lot of people just really had no clue. Well, how does water recycling work, or how does a compost work? What does it mean to hill in something, or to, if you're going to use a heavy mulch on some vegetables to preserve water. Yeah, so being able to show people, how an integrated wetlands works, what does it mean to reclaim wetlands? What does it mean to win the Governor's Award for Chesapeake Bay Friendly Farm? And we don't have the time to explain that stuff here at the market when we're going. So to have a day, to have people come out, see how it works, meet us, meet our family at the farm, and just, see what's going on was really great. It was really a great day. Yeah, it also had a really positive effect on the people that visited themselves, not just on an educational value of seeing how we grow things and how do we recycle things here at the farm, but also to meet other people in their same focus or their same interest. So they're touring with other people that are interested in the same subject. So there was a lot of, when people were taking breaks and they're having little powwows and, talking about how they like to grow things, but they may not have the same amount of space. So it was just a really good opportunity to reach out to those folks, further educate, say, on our niche farm, how we do it, and to reach out to the community, show them how to cook some food. Maybe they don't know how to make dinner in 10 minutes, or make something that's quick and healthy at the same time. So yeah, one of the things that we did that day was show people how to do the grilled pepper sandwich that we do here at the market, and it was great. It's on-site demonstration, live right there. You can get around the grill, see how we do it, and we also, we pulled out some venison. That's part of our integrated management system. Is, people talk about pest control, but they may not always think about the deer until they hit one on the highway. So just, being able to do food demonstrations and using the barbecue to do it in an efficient and timely fashion for hungry people really made a difference. So.
One of the things that we've been doing at the market this season is some time-lapse videos about the market community. We've set cameras up at different locations to kind of take a look at the crowd and the customers that come through on any given day. And in a 17-second video clip, you can see thousands of people that come down to Charlottesville City Market every Saturday morning.
Here at Meet the Farmer TV, each week we bring you great gems of knowledge and experience in Central Virginia and throughout the East Coast about sustainable agriculture. And it's not just sustainable agriculture, it's sustainable community, sustainable media. We need your support, so give us your ideas and let us know how we've impacted you and whether you've been able to duplicate some of the great things you've seen on Meet the Farmer TV. I'm Michael Clark, your host for Meet the Farmer TV. Once again, thank you for watching as we bring Central Virginia's agriculture to you in Meet Yer Eats.
We're in front of Foods of All Nations right now. We're having our Fall Food Festival, and that involves more than 20 vendors who set up, do samplings, show off their wares, come in and meet our customers so that they can try things that they may not have tried in the past because they really weren't sure what it was. Wade's Mill, doing grits and cheese. You don't get much more southern than that. And I think people have come to the conclusion that the more locally that they can eat, the more healthily they can eat. Especially for people with allergies. It's shown with honeys that if you consume honey that's harvested in your area, it helps with allergies. And we really feel that the local produce does the same. These are the things that are in your environment that your body has become accustomed to, and because of that, of course they're going to be much healthier for you. And I think people are more interested in keeping the small farmers in business, those people who are venturing into new areas, that they know that they can market their product because it's coming to you fresh. This is not going to be prepackaged. It's going to come straight from the farm right into your home.
My name is Glenn Clayton, and I am a beekeeper in Nelson County. Colony collapse disorder, CCD. It's the environment is a lot of the problem. And when they ever clean up the environment, who knows? Ta-da!
This program is a production of Meet the Farmer TV, LLC, in association with Planet Earth Diversified, Melli Productions, and Leslie P. Jenkins Photography and Graphic Design. Meet the Farmer TV is made possible by Culpeper Media Network, helping to preserve the agricultural history of Virginia. And In the Kitchen magazine, serving the community and everyone who loves good food.